Hey, what's up, guys? This is Johnny, and welcome to episode 16 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here with Katrina Kincaid. How you doing?
One more time.
Did I say Karina again?
No, you said Kincaid. It's Kincaid.
Kincaid. Okay. You know what? Let's just run with this. Katrina, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Okay, so where are we, Katrina?
We're on a beach in Cambodia.
Okay. So we're on Koh Rong. It's a really small island without power or internet or electricity. And I figured, hey, why not do a podcast and talk about how you maintain an online business while traveling to remote islands like this. So how did we meet?
The ferry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we took a ferry from Sihanoukville over here to Koh Rong. For those who haven't been out to Cambodia, it's actually a pretty cool place. What are your thoughts of it so far?
I don't want to leave.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places on earth now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're originally from the U.S. Where in the U.S.?
West Virginia.
Okay. And what made you start traveling?
I originally moved to Colorado. Then
Okay.
I moved to Los Angeles, California, and met a lot of different cool people from around the world there. Ended up in South Korea teaching English and decided, why not travel?
So in L.A., you were in the film industry?
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah. Well, you were a writer for a popular TV show for a few months, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I was a writer. I started working on a show called Deadwood, and then, as shows sometimes do, it canceled. So I was put on John from Cincinnati, JFC. Do you know that show?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but it's really cool that the things, in life kind of just bring us to the next step, and we never know where it's going to bring us.
Right. So when that show canceled, I decided I'm leaving. I'm leaving town. I'm moving away.
So you taught English in Korea for quite a while. How long was that?
Total?
Yeah.
Total 3.5 years.
And they pay pretty well out there.
They paid decently, yeah.
And how's the lifestyle?
It reminds me of Vegas sometimes because you can, everyone teaches, then everyone they get drunk. The bars don't close. There's one that doesn't close till noon the next day.
Wow.
So you'll see foreigners without their T-shirts, and it's quite embarrassing for the rest of us, like 9 o'clock in the morning.
There you have it. Korea is the new Vegas.
You can get a bottle of liquor and walk down the street. Well, I'd say beer. Don't get a bottle of liquor.
So, one of the cool things about a lot of the teachers I met, especially from South Korea, is they save up enough money, and they're already in Asia, so they hop over to places like Thailand, they hop over to places like Cambodia, and they do a bit of traveling. And it's pretty easy to save up some money, especially if you're not drinking every night, but people do anyways, right?
Well, in South Korea, soju is $1.
Okay.
So it's easy to drink and still save quite a bit of money.
Well, speaking of dollars, what's really cool about Cambodia is they take U.S. money.
They love U.S. money.
And I think the only Cambodian real I've gotten has been small change.
Oh, yeah?
So I don't even consider that money. I kind of just think of it as like
a souvenir. Like,
I don't know.
here's some real. Just put it to the side.
Yeah, to be honest, I've actually just been giving it to taxi drivers just as a tip.
Yeah. What do you do with the 100 real? I don't get that. That's
I have
the
no
smallest
clue.
currency ever.
I just give it away. I don't even know what it's worth.
Here you go. Yeah.
But so the cost of living out here is relatively cheap. It's actually really hard to compare because I came from Thailand and things are really cheap as well.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about being in Thailand is I can lie to myself and, and not convert it. Like if there's something I really want to eat or something I want to do, I can kind of just lie to myself, kind of round down.
Me too. Yeah. Everyone does that. Oh, it's just 100 baht. What is it? It's only 400 baht. Okay, Here you go. Yeah.
Because it's not real money. But here, because I'm using U.S. dollars, it feels like I'm spending more money even though things are really cheap.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But in Thailand, with the money, some of their money looks the same. Mm-hmm. So I was giving out like 1,000 and thinking it was 100.
No, come on.
Oh, I did that at the beginning, and I didn't realize it till I was running out of money. And they never said anything to me.
Well, to be fair, if you gave a bartender in the U.S. $100 bill thinking you give him $1 tip, they probably wouldn't say anything either.
Well, yeah, but most of these people, I was buying little, like a purse here or something like that. And yeah, thank you. That's great. That's perfect.
They're like, oh, these rich foreigners.
Yeah.
So the one thing that is cheaper out in Cambodia is alcohol.
Oh, definitely.
What are some of the drink prices out here?
$1 for a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
It was $2 for a big bottle of Coke and $1 for a bottle of whiskey.
That's insane. I mean, I'm sure it's not 12-year-old scotch, but
I did buy a drink for $3 last night.
okay, what was that?
Sex on the beach.
Yeah. And how did you order that?
Well, I went up to the bartender, who was a local, and I told him that I needed sex on the beach, and well, he got very bashful and just smiled for a minute, and then I said, "Well, it's buy one get one free, right? So can you give me twice that amount? Can you double it up? I'd like to have 2 sex on the beaches." He
All
did.
right, so you just like to make locals blush.
Oh, yeah, and he was so nice when he brought it. I told him, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it'll be the best I've ever had.
Oh, nice. And
yeah.
was it?
It was. It was definitely the best I ever had.
Well, all right, so aside from the drink, aside from actual sex on the beach, one of the cool things about Koh Rong is a lot of people swim at night because you can see what are those called? Those things
Is
that
it
light
the
up.
plankton?
Yeah, they're plankton.
Is it plankton?
It's some kind of plankton.
Yeah.
I think there's a scientific name for it, but it's cool. You swim at night and they light up in the sea.
Did you get to do that?
I'm gonna do that tonight
Or you're doing that
because I'm
tonight?
staying longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
How lucky.
Well, I mean, there's been so much to do. So we've only been here for 3 days now, right?
Right.
And I've done a ton. My favorite thing that I've done so far was I just came back from paddleboarding just right before I bumped into you again.
Yeah.
And so we rented paddleboards for an hour. We actually don't know how long we were out for because we didn't look at the clock, and the guy rented it to us. He didn't look at the time either. So we were probably out for closer than 2 hours. So as we were recording this, we were actually on the second floor, kind of the rooftop of a restaurant bar overlooking the sea.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Even though it's a cloudy day today.
It was perfect for paddleboarding because we would have got so sunburned if it wasn't.
Ah, that's right.
But I really, really wish I would have had a waterproof camera to bring out, but neither me or my friend had one. And I was looking over at her just in the middle of the ocean on a paddleboard, just standing there, it was so tranquil, thinking, man, if only I had a camera to capture this.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things you just have to be there. You just have to see it.
Yeah, one of the things I wish I would have brought on my trip was a GoPro.
Yeah, that would have been
GoPro.
really good.
I had some friends at the beginning of my trip. I had been traveling with 2 people from Spain, someone from Colombia and Brazil, because I came by myself on this trip. So that was my first group of friends, and 2 of them had GoPros.
So how is it traveling as a single girl or woman?
Well, at the beginning of my trip, I had friends for 4 days, and then they left. And while I was with those friends, I met other people. So I started traveling with them. And then coming to Cambodia, I didn't want to come by myself. So I walked around my hostel. And the first person I asked about Cambodia, he said, yeah, it's a place I'd like to go. And I was like, well, I'm leaving today. You want to come with me? And he's like, okay, let me check my schedule. He checked his schedule. He said, sure. That sounds like a great idea. So when we got to the bus station, we get on the bus. There's another girl. She bought a ticket as well. I've been traveling with her for, I think, 13 days.
Oh, that's nice. And
yeah,
it's cool to meet friends
Verena,
along the way.
From Germany. So we've been traveling together, for 13 days.
So I guess we'll give a shout out to
Verena. From Germany.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, I've been traveling Cambodia by myself as well. And actually, when I was in Chinookville, or small, there's a small beach there called like Ortez Beach or something.
Yeah, it's smaller. It's
and
nicer.
I was actually a little bit lonely that first day because I had showed up and I got there pretty late. The sun was setting, and I'm sitting there just all by myself thinking, where am I? What am I doing here? And luckily, I bumped into a couple guys that were really cool. Had dinner with them, and the next day, arrived in Koh Rong, and this place is super social.
Yeah, super social.
I think of this as the backpacker paradise.
It is.
Like,
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, like it's one of those places
Don't
where
tell anybody because next
I've never heard of it. I mean, when did you first hear about Koh Rong?
From the guy who came with me to Cambodia, because he said that he wanted to go to Angkor Wat.
Okay.
We went there, and he said that he'd like to come down here, Koh Rong, right? I keep saying these differently. Koh Rong?
Koh
It's
Rong.
Koh Rong. And I said, okay, yeah, I'd love to go sit on a beach somewhere nice.
And
And
you can't go wrong in Koh Rong.
you can't. You definitely can't go wrong in Koh Rong. So how the trip ended was we were in that last place, Esville.
Okay.
Schnookaville, whatever. Sorry.
This girl could not pronounce
Nobody
Chinookville
can.
for the life
You're
of her.
the only person. And so we were there, and he decided that he wanted to do some. No, wait, we were in Angkor Wat. He met somebody else. Me and my friend Verena decided,
Either way, you're here
decided
now.
to travel here. Yeah.
So, I actually never heard of this island until I think it was 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had heard of Angkor Wat. Thinking,
Did you go?
yeah, I was there last week, and it was a lot better than I expected. Because in Thailand, there's a lot of temples, and I was kind of templed out, thinking I don't even really want to go. But it turns out Angkor Wat is more like ruins than actual temples.
Yeah, definitely.
So I enjoyed the crap out of that. I did the sunrise tour, where you go to Angkor Wat.
I missed it. Yeah.
5 a.m. for the sunrise. It was beautiful. And then the next day I went back to do the smaller temples, and I highly recommend that.
I biked around it.
You're on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, the first day went around on a tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
And then the second day, me and Verena took bikes,
Oh,
so we
nice.
could just go wherever we wanted. But
Okay.
it's definitely ruins. Did you know it used to be parts of it covered in gold?
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But obviously, people have come and taken it away.
I would.
Yeah,
I would have taken
why
the gold
not?
if I was there.
Yeah.
No.
So this beach,
Yep.
last year, I don't know if you found out this information. This is why we need to keep it secret.
Okay.
But there were 8 guest houses. Now there are 28.
Oh wow. Because there's still not. I mean, even though it's 28, it doesn't feel like there's that many. It's you can really walk up and down this entire area in I don't know 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and the island is huge. So when you look at it from far away, it's a giant island, and in the whole middle is jungle. But there's really only one small stretch of land where all the restaurants and bars are, and those, I guess, 28 guest houses.
28. Last year there were 8. So before, people were telling me that I needed to book in advance. It's going to be sold out everywhere. But they're thinking about last year because there were only 8. Now that there's 28, there are more available rooms. But the problem is that if you want to stay somewhere where people are partying and having a good time, it's probably an easy place to find. But if you want a more quieter place, they're usually booked up pretty fast.
Yeah, the bungalows are booked up super quick. I found this little village to the left of the pier that's really quiet, and it's a pretty simple, basic room, but it suits my needs fine. And you know, I had a really good night's sleep yesterday, and this island is incredible. So this island is for backpackers and kind of young people that want to travel.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend this as a family destination.
No.
It's not a honeymoon destination.
No.
But if if you're single, I guess it's good for couples as well. It's beautiful here.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, couples could have a great time here. Get a bungalow, the treehouse bungalows at the very end.
Yeah, and they're about. I think they range from about $35 and up. You're in a bungalow.
Yeah, I paid big money.
Yeah, thank you.
I paid big money for a nice bungalow.
So tell me about your bungalow. What is it made out of?
Bamboo,
Yeah,
wood.
and is it overlooking the sea, or how far is it from the beach?
Yeah, it's overlooking the sea. It was. I paid big money at 55.
$55 a night.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money for out here.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
But
That's a whole lot of money.
what would that get
Considering the night before I paid $6.50.
So you went from $6.50 to $55.
It was my last night on the island.
So you must
I
splurge
wanted-
sometimes.
Yeah. And if you split it between people, there was 3 beds in there, like a full bed and another bed. That makes it really easy. But then again, they get really booked up. They get booked up really fast. You have to be the first person in the morning to get it.
But you shared it with your friend, the German girl.
we shared it.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's really not that bad.
Right,
I mean, because how
yeah.
much would you spend on a hotel back in the U.S.?
Quite a bit more.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a bungalow on the beach.
It's a bungalow on the beach.
All right, so you like your bungalow, and
I love my I loved it.
well, one thing about basically all accommodations and everything on this island is there isn't electricity 24. Actually, there's not actual electricity. There's generators.
Is it all generators?
I think it's all generators, and they only run it a few hours a day. So, like, what is your experience with it so far?
So We got electricity from 10 to 12 in the morning, and then 5 to, I think it's like 5 to 1. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the nighttime. I just know it starts at 5 and it ends at 1. Because lights went out at 1 o'clock last night when I was in my bungalow. So it ended at 1, yeah.
So what I've been doing is, I have a business to maintain. I'm traveling, but at the same time, I need to work. And what I've been doing is I've just been waking up normal time, usually 7:30 or 8 in the morning, and I'll just spend an hour in the morning just fulfilling orders, managing my e-commerce site, blogging, just checking email, making sure there's no fires. And so even without electricity 24 hours, and so Wi-Fi is only on when there's electricity. Mm-hmm. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't go online right now. I mean, in fact, sitting here recording this, there's no electric or Wi-Fi.
No.
So, big shout out to Apple for making the new MacBook Air that has a 12 hours battery life.
Oh, that's great.
It makes it so much easier. I actually haven't charged this computer in 3 days since I've been here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm only using it for an hour a day, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow morning I'll charge it for an hour while checking my email, and I'll be good. I mean, and this is the only reason why I'm able to maintain this business and record these podcasts while being on a really remote island like this. Is because of the battery life of the new MacBook.
Well, that's one of the things about an island with little electricity. Like looking around this room right now, there are lots of people, and I don't see a single person on their phone.
Yeah.
Everyone's just reading, relaxing, maybe taking a photo with their camera, but
or actually talking to each other.
Actually talking to each other, yeah. Nobody is on their phone. This is so different from South Korea because everyone's on their phone. Even at like dinner tables, people are always on their phone.
Yeah, and it's refreshing. I remember I was with someone for dinner last night, and it was during the Wi-Fi hours, and she was checking her phone, and it was really shocking to me. And I just assumed, I was like, oh, are you meeting someone?
Yeah.
Or is there something kind of urgent? And she's like, oh, no, just checking my Facebook. And she put it away, didn't pick it up for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But back in the Western world, it's so normal.
It's so normal. You just do it. In here, I forget.
I guess I could check my email and do some work at night as well, but I just haven't been because...
Too busy doing activities?
Yeah. I mean, so in the couple of days I've been here, I went scuba diving, and the diving in Cambodia is not the best, but you still get really warm water. It's 28 degrees Celsius, which is 80, I don't know, 86 or 90, actually probably closer to 90 Fahrenheit, so no wetsuit needed. Beautiful day on the boat, and it's quite cheap. It's not as cheap as Koh Tao. I think I paid $80 for the day, but I included 2 dives, all your equipment, and lunch on the boat. And I don't know for the people listening have had food on a boat before, but it always tastes better.
Ah, yeah, it does.
I think it's just being out in the open sea, and just relaxing and just, having food cooked on the boat. It's amazing. I love it.
Have you taken one of the trips here yet?
Not yet, but I'm going to. I think. Well, what kind of trips are you talking about?
Well, I was supposed to join. If I wasn't leaving today, I would have joined this trip with the Island Boys. Okay. They go to the island out there and they snorkel. You snorkel around the island, and then they take you to go fishing. And when everyone gets the fish, they come back, cook it up, and it's a barbecue party.
Oh, nice. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
You should try it because I don't get to. So.
I'll do it. You can live vicariously
I
through
will,
me.
definitely.
I'll take some photos as well.
Yeah.
So speaking of Island Boys, it's one of the restaurant, bar, guest houses, I guess, on this island.
Yeah.
And they have a great barbecue.
Yeah.
It's $5, which is actually the most expensive barbecue on the island. There's ones that start at $3.50 per person, but I figured I wanted the best one, and it looks so good. And I know you're a vegetarian, but for people listening, imagine this barbecue on the beach with these, rotisserie chickens being spun around, and the oil and the fat from it is dripping onto potatoes, which they're grilling as well. And it's served with it's actually really good, like a coleslaw salad. These potatoes that have been like just crunched up in this like chicken fat, I guess. You can pick that. You can pick fish, or I had a steak actually, and it was $5. And
steak?
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, but sometimes I eat steak.
There you go. Well, I just
once
like
or twice a year. Once or twice a year.
And when you're sitting on a beach, and it's a beautiful beach. It really is. I mean, all right, so for those who are near a computer right now, I want you to go to travellikeabosspodcast.com, look at the show notes for episode 16, and take a look at some of the photos I'm going to put up. And I want you to see this place. And in fact, I want you guys just to come because, as Katrina was saying earlier, this place is getting discovered at a very fast pace.
Yeah, eight guest houses to now 20.
And they're building more as we speak. I mean, hopefully
you can hear it in the background.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too annoying, but yeah, you can hear the construction in the background, and they're going to build this place up. I used to think that it was sad that places like this get built up, but the nice thing is every time they build a new one, there's something out there that we haven't heard of yet that we could go and visit. So that's a great thing about traveling is you might have to start out going to places that everyone knows about, but if you talk to enough travelers and cool people, you find these little places like that are going to be incredible, and that they're kind of undiscovered and untouched. Like, where are some of the favorite places that you've traveled to?
Do I have to give it up?
Yeah.
Pai, Thailand.
I really feel like Pai is like the mountain version of Koh Rong.
Yeah, it definitely is. I do believe.
Yeah.
I do believe. I could definitely spend my time between Pai and here.
Okay, they need a direct flight.
Yeah, I know.
So Pai
Can
is...
we just build an airport in the jungle?
Just for us?
Yeah.
So Pai is a little mountain town about 4 hours north of Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is my favorite city in the world. And it's so... I mean, how would you describe Pai?
It's where I want to be. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Everyone is just hanging out, just relaxing, having a good time. You can take a motorbike, go see huge caves and waterfalls. You meet tons of interesting people as well.
Yeah, really laid back people.
Very small.
It is quite small.
You walk around the town. Good food, good people, good time. Yeah.
Well, for the people that actually need to get some work done while they're out there, Pai has good internet, and they actually have a co-working space. So it'd be one of those places you can chill out and relax and still get some work done.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Here, it'd be very, very difficult to build a new business. I wouldn't try doing it while you're here, or I wouldn't try to upload videos, or I might even have to wait for this podcast till I get back to the mainland. But it's fine for checking email and fulfilling orders. Like, so, for example, this morning you saw me at breakfast.
Right.
And it looked like I was just on Facebook like everyone else, right?
Yeah. Addicted.
Yeah. But what I was really doing is I checked my email. It's, so 8 a.m. here is 5 p.m. in California. So the workday just ended. I have tons of emails and orders. And I just spent an hour. I just check stock. I forward it to my dealers to send out, and I've recently hired an employee to pick up phones, so she answers all my customer service calls during the day, and if she can't answer the questions, or if the customer needs something, I hear the recording. So in the morning I sit there with my headphones on, I listen to all of her conversations with the customers, I fix the problem, send out the emails, do whatever needs to be done, and an hour later close my laptop and I just enjoy the day.
Well, if you absolutely need to use the internet for an entire day, a $10 ferry ride during low season, fast boat, just take you straight to the mainland.
Yeah, it's true. It's an hour ride. It's actually a nice ride too.
Yeah, it's not a bad ride.
It's surprisingly a nice ferry.
You're on a fast boat going through the ocean, and I mean, it's not bad at all. So,
well, what my buddy Anton did is he actually based himself in Chinookville. And he stayed at this really nice hotel. It's the one near the ferry. I think it's called Serenity Beach Hotel.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think they have like a 30-meter swimming pool. And so he based himself there. The internet, he said, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good enough for him. And what he would do is he would work for a few days and then go on one of these island trips and just hang out for a few days as well and kind of just alternate between that.
Yeah, that's exactly how you can do it.
So you can definitely do it. I mean, what I would personally recommend is, spend 2 months in a place like Chiang Mai or back at home and, get your business up to a point where you don't need to work on it so much. Automate whatever you can, hire an employee to pick up your phones like I did. And when you're kind of going into maintenance mode, you just come out here and relax, enjoy yourself. So the money that you're going to make while in maintenance mode is never going to be as high as when you're actively working, all the time to scale a business or, advertise or things like that. But the thing is, it's so cheap to live out here that as long as for most travelers, they have savings. And while they're out here, the savings goes down.
Right.
All right. Their bank account slowly goes down. And the way to prevent that is to try to live as cheaply as possible and have it go down slower.
Right.
But it's still going down. My goal is for my bank account to slowly creep up. And when I'm in maintenance mode, it's not going to creep up as fast as I would like it to. But as long as it's not going down, I'm happy. I mean, even if I kind of just broke even, I'd be okay with that.
Most people would.
Yeah. So, whatever your business is, you can definitely maintain it while you're out here. The only things that I'm actually doing is I'm updating my blog when I'm out here, and it's not even monetized really. It's really just for me to look back and remember all the cool things I've done. I use it as kind of almost like my travel diary, and also for my friends and family back home to look at it. So if you guys haven't seen it, you can just go to Travel Like a Boss podcast, and there's a link for blog, and you can check it out, or you just go to johnnyfd.com. I try to post some pictures and kind of just, right now I've actually committed myself to doing a daily blog, which in retrospect I wouldn't have done. It's way too much work. But I've been updating, and I've been doing so much every day that I almost feel like I had to.
Yeah, you have to keep it documented.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I did yesterday was I did a hike across this island to a smaller one called Long Beach. A smaller beach called Long Beach. And one of the guys who lives here, I think he was one of the scuba divers, had said that it was recently voted as one of the top 10 most beautiful beaches in the world. And honestly, I didn't believe him when he said that. I was like, this is some random guy living on this island. Of course, just say it's the best.
Right, of course.
And the trek itself was great. It was about a 45-minute walk. You could do it in flip-flops, but it'd be easier in shoes. And it's proper jungle. I mean, right behind us, literally 20 feet away is jungle.
Some of the paths, like I was walking behind there, I noticed that they might have just cut them down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
there's sticks, walking on sticks.
Well, what was pretty funny is all the signs that say beware of snakes.
Yeah, I was looking out for them.
So there's definitely poisonous snakes outside.
Yeah, I was told to make sure to be aware that there are snakes. When you got to Long Beach, I was also told that, the sand flies.
I wasn't on the beach for that long because we got there right before sunset. But the sand flies, I didn't notice any at all, really.
Okay. I think it was at my last guest house. She said that when there's a part of the beach that people haven't been on for a long time, then you start walking and they just fly up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So she told us just to be prepared if we decide, because if we do go to Long Beach and we're walking down it, if enough tourists haven't been there, then they'll start biting our feet.
Okay.
I saw a guy earlier, bites all over his feet, just his feet. And I asked him, I said, sandflies? And he said mosquitoes, but they were just on his feet. And he said he walked around one of these beaches that nobody...
Maybe he was on a really secluded beach. Long Beach is actually surprisingly not busy. I mean, there was maybe 15, 20 people there. Yeah. Which to me was busy because we had just walked through this jungle and we didn't expect to see anyone. Yeah. But what it is, there is one bungalow out there, and so it has a restaurant and bar.
Oh, well then, there are more people than...
Yeah, but this beach is so beautiful. It is incredible.
I missed it, yeah.
And it's almost I guess it's almost a good thing where the sun sets on that side of the island, so you don't see it when you're on the main part of Koh Rong. So it kind of gives you an excuse to make that trip over there. So what we did was we started walking over around maybe 4:30 or 5, and it took almost an hour. It was a pretty far walk, but it was enjoyable. We really liked it.
Yeah.
And we got there just in time to have a cold drink and watch the sun go down. And we didn't want to walk back through the jungle in the dark, so we hopped on one of those fishing boats that would bring people back to the front. It was $3 per person. The only downside to it is you have to wade through water kind of to waist deep to even get on the boat. And the guy doesn't even have a ladder. But it's all part of the adventure, right?
Right, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm sure back at home, back in West Virginia, you would look completely different. I mean, the way you would dress, the makeup, the shoes.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Than this?
Yeah.
Nah, this is me.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
this
Well,
is
you know
me.
what? I guarantee you, half of these girls just sitting in this room with us right now, we wouldn't recognize if we
You think?
saw them back home. Yeah, I guarantee it. One of the girls I'm traveling with, she's from Finland, and I just saw her Facebook profile. Well, one of her old profile photos, and it was her getting ready to go to a nightclub in Finland.
Yeah.
And she looks so different. I can't even believe it. She straightened her long blonde hair. She had makeup on. She was dressed up, and compared to the girl I see every day in a bikini with her hair, from the seawater, she looks completely different.
Yeah. Well, we all get dressed up to go out. Like, a lady likes to get dressed up, and she might really like that picture. So
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, unfortunately for guys, we can't really look that different. I mean, this is kind of the best I could look.
But you're right. Like, people are more relaxed here. Like, nobody really cares. Everyone's wearing their T-shirts or dresses, sometimes multiple days, because doing laundry is not the easiest thing sometimes. Although there are lots of places to do it.
What I started doing is, so for a while I would try to get the most out of my T-shirts, right? So maybe I was thinking, I could wear this again, right?
Yeah.
But then I would get confused which ones I've worn, how many times I've worn it. So now I've actually just have a separate pile because laundry is so cheap here. It's $1 per kilo, which is 2.2 pounds.
Right.
So, I mean, for $1 or $2, you can do a bag of laundry and not have to wear the same shirt twice.
Well, I talked with somebody earlier, and he said, I can do your laundry for you, but tomorrow or maybe the next day, because it might rain.
Oh, that makes sense.
So unfortunately, I said thank you, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess out here, doing laundry really means, they probably wash. I wouldn't be surprised if they wash in the
it
ocean.
by hand?
Yeah.
Or
wash
in
by
the
hand.
ocean?
Hang it to dry.
Hang them to dry.
Yeah.
They do. They hang all of them to dry because no electricity.
I think that's the only reason why I couldn't stand Koh Rong for too long is I'll miss some of the conveniences of cities, like having clean clothes all the time.
Yeah.
Be able to charge, your phone or iPod whenever you need to. But it's so good for a week or two.
Yeah.
It is incredible for, I would say, 3 to 7 days. It's incredible, and if you really like it, you can stay longer.
I think 7 days is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll stay for 7 days then.
I could.
Yeah. So what I like about places like Chiang Mai is it's a real city, and it's still laid back, kind of like this. It's kind of I would say halfway between living in Pai, which is super laid back.
Super laid back and small.
And small, and nothing to do. Well, I mean, there's lots to do, but it's not it's more nature things that and not every day you want to go to a waterfall. I mean,
no, I guess not.
I think these are we should make a new hashtag called third world problems. Oh man, I don't want to go to another waterfall. Or, I don't want to go swim on the beach again.
Swim on the beach again. I don't want to swim in the ocean again today.
Yeah. I wore this bikini 7 times this week.
Do I really have to go scuba diving again?
Yeah. Actually, I was actually complaining, thinking, what do I want for dinner? And I was like, well, that beach barbecue was really good, but I just ate there. I kind of want something different.
Right.
But at the end of the day, why am I complaining? It's a barbecue on the beach.
It's barbecue on the beach.
And it's really good food and candle lit. You sit on these comfy lounge chairs.
Well, it's like me, curry, vegetable curry. Am I going to have that again? Oh, yes,
but it's
I'm going to
good,
have
right?
it again. It's good, yeah.
All right, so so the reason why I really wanted to sit down here is it's such a magical place that I wanted to share this with people listening. So if you guys are stuck at a job that you hate and you dream of traveling, just do it. I mean, I think my favorite thing about this podcast is I get to sit down and interview people who are doing it. Some people are doing it through savings, but most of the people who all the previous guests are people who are making money while traveling with their online business. Either we've had doctors who make money through Skype consults. We have people that do e-commerce. We have bloggers. We have authors, and I really believe that anybody can do it. I mean, it's really hard to make a ton of money while with online business while traveling, but it's really easy to make enough to travel. I mean, because really, realistically, how much do you really need to travel?
Right.
I mean, most people, for a $2,000 budget a month, can kind of just do whatever they want.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you break that down, I mean, how much is that a day that you even really need to make? I mean, that's less than if you make $100 a day online, which isn't that hard. That's, you can sell a couple books, you can have an e-commerce store, you can sell one product. I mean, this morning I checked and I had a pretty good sales day. I made about $2,000 in revenue, which, not all that's profit, but I mean, that paid for my entire week, and it took a while to set that up. But now that I'm here, it's kind of like, you know what? I can afford to do things like fly from Siem Reap to Sihanoukville instead of sitting on an 11-hour bus ride, which I'm sure is dreadful.
I did it.
Would you recommend that?
It wasn't bad. But it wasn't 11 hours. Where did you get 11 hours at? Who told you that?
Yeah, it's overnight bus, and you stop in Phnom Penh, right?
It was. We started at like around 8 p.m.
Okay. And
I think we got there at like 9 or 10 the next day.
Okay. So my math's not that great, but that's about 10 or 11 hours.
12, 13, 14. I think it was like 14 hours.
Oh, what, 14 hours,
well,
really?
Yeah, 8 o'clock at night. We got there at like 9, 10 the next day, so at least 13, 14 hours.
So I used to take these long bus rides because it was cheap, right? Like, how much was it?
Total, it was 17.
$17.
But it was a hotel bus, so it was a sleeper.
So you got the best.
Yeah, so actually I got to sleep.
Okay.
So we just went to sleep and then got up when we could, when we got.
How was your bed? Did you have to share it with someone?
I shared it with my friend.
Oh, so you're lucky. So
yeah.
The reason why I wouldn't do it is traveling alone. I met a guy who did that bus, and he was traveling alone, so he got put next to some other random dude that he didn't know, and he had to share a bed with him the whole night.
The space is so small. Like, I wouldn't do it. But my friend, he was alone.
Okay.
They like, his traveling partner ended up being like a very young, beautiful girl. So he was actually.
So okay, if you can put that in writing, I'd sign up for the bus.
He actually wasn't that bad off, and I went and talked to him, and and he's like, I have no complaints, and I was like, okay.
All right. Well, I was on a plane, and it only took an hour, and I figured that saved me 13 hours of my life, and if I really wanted to, I can make that $100 back in 13 hours.
Well, the thing about buses, especially like the sleeper buses with the seats, you meet so many travelers. So if you are traveling alone, it's a great way to meet just a lot of random people. When you get off the bus, like I had before, that's when I met the people from Spain and Colombia and Brazil. They're like, where are you guys going? What hostel? So we all ended up at the same hostel. We all ended up trekking together. We all ended up getting motorbikes, and it was just such an amazing experience.
It definitely is a good place to meet people because you're stuck talking to them for 14 hours, and
yeah,
you can get to know someone. I'd rather do it on a sleeper train because I really enjoy being on trains.
Oh, train, but like I was in the hotel bus, so I would not do it in that because it's just closed off rooms.
Oh, okay.
But on the sleeper bus, you just put your seats all the way back, and then you can sleep. It's pretty easy, but you do meet a lot of people. And traveling alone, it's like I almost took a plane, but I knew that if I took the bus, I could meet people coming off of it.
Okay.
So yeah. But
All
if
right.
you have a short amount of time, you want to take a plane.
Yeah, and the main reason is actually because I'm a pretty big guy and I'm not comfortable on buses.
Yeah.
And what happens is if I sit on a bus for more than a couple hours, the next day, I feel like crap. I need to get a massage, and it takes me a few days to really just decompress my spine, I guess. So for me, it's so much better just to fly and chill out. I'll meet people here on the beach. I met you on the ferry over. So I mean, there's other ways to meet people. I would recommend though to stay in places like that travelers stay, like not hotels, hostels and guest houses. Because if you're in a hotel, you're not gonna meet anyone.
Yeah. No.
I mean, you might meet some families or some snooty people that might only be there for a day. But it's definitely better to meet, kind of young travelers at a place like a hostel or on a bus. People
who want their space stay in a hotel.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And more social is the guest house for sure.
So what I've been doing is I've been trying to book private rooms at hostels. And it's usually, they're actually not worth it for the money because you end up paying hotel prices for not the nicest place and the amenities aren't as good. But what you do get out of it is you get that hostel atmosphere and all the activities that they organize and all the people that you meet. So to me, that's worth it. So I could still get my my privacy and my in-suite bathroom, but it's social.
Right.
And I really think the only downside to that is the extra cost. I mean, because you can get a dorm room for, what?
$5, $6.
$6?
Yeah.
And,
here.
and usually the private
Here.
rooms are $25 or $30. So it's a lot more, and it's hard to justify because at the end of the day, you're not really in your room that much. You kind of just want to sleep. But if you design your lifestyle and your business where you're making, even if you're just making $30 or $50 a day, and that's enough to pay for a nicer room, just do it, because at the end of the day, you're probably going to get better sleep. Your stuff is going to be more secure because you're not sharing with a bunch of people, and you can still get that social atmosphere. I wouldn't go out and spend $100 or $200 a day on a hotel because I think it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
But just getting a private room in a hostel, to me, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think we paid $12 last night.
Yeah.
Or the night before last, $6.50 a piece.
And I think so here's kind of a travel hack, and the reason why I actually think of my private rooms at hostels are basically free is because I gave up my apartment back in the US, and for people who are still paying rent or mortgage while traveling, that's $1,000 a month in fixed expenses that you're paying no matter what. I figure I'm gonna, because I don't have a place back in the US, that $800 or that $1,000 to me is free money to get accommodation with. Mm-hmm. So as long as I'm spending less than $1,000 a month in accommodation, I figure it's kind of a wash, because I would be spending that back in the US anyways.
Right, exactly.
And if you do the math on that, that's $33 a night. So as long as my place is $33 a night
or less,
then it's free.
Yeah. That's how I average things. Like one night it was $6.50, the next it was about $30. So over 2 nights, it's like $15, $20.
There you go. Cool. Well, any last advice or words of wisdom you want to give everyone before we sign off?
Travel.
And if you're going to travel, you might as well travel like a boss.
Travel like a boss.
So, all right, peace out, guys. Check out the blog. It's johnnyfd.com. Or check out the show notes if you want links to everything here, as well as some photos. It's travellikeabosspodcast.com, and this is episode 16. So, peace out, everyone.
Peace out. He's standing on a surfboard with a paddle.
Yep, and that is paddleboarding.
That looks amazing.
All right, so what are your tips?
Never in my life I thought I would be able to come somewhere like here, and now here I am. So all I can say is travel, 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 travel.
All right, peace out, guys.
Peace out.